Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, what's going on with everybody? Hope you all are enjoying your day. Today is Thursday, June 23rd. You know what that means? It means it's the first day of USA's. We're going to see who is going to make this team, and I am super excited. This is Track Talk, of course. I forgot to mention that, a part of the Lactic Acid network. I was just so excited about USA's, and I'm super pumped for you to hear today's show. We recorded it Tuesday night, and it's going to be broken up into two parts. So the part that you're about to hear is part one, and then obviously part two will be uploaded separately. But man, we had a lot of fun on that show. Coach Rob Lewis, Coach Brett Shields, two legends in the coaching game on the high school, collegiate and professional level. They've coached anybody you can imagine, and they are brilliant track minds, and they are hilarious human beings. And I am super pumped for you guys to get a chance to watch these two episodes. It's one episode broken down into two parts. And so right now you're going to hear part one, and I'm going to shut up so you can get to the action, and then you're going to hear part two shortly. So I hope you enjoy the show. Peace. All right, everybody, we are back on Track Talk. Told you we had a jam-packed interview tonight. Going to cover a lot of stuff. I had an agenda, but I just deleted it from my phone because we can go anywhere with this. On my top left, he needs no introduction, Mr. Brett Shields. And on the bottom, Mr. Rob Lewis, two legendary track coaches at two different parts of the world. And unfortunately, right now, at least, it's not their day job yet. But we are going to pull a GoFundMe to get them on board with USA Track and Field so we can actually grow the sport and everything. But before we get started, quickly tell us about your show that comes on Wednesday nights, and then some of the things that you guys are going to possibly be doing as far as commentating when it comes to the USA's.
Go ahead, Brett.
No, you got it, man. You are the lead dog for that show.
Okay. Well, our show is Wednesday nights on our Facebook page called Out the Blocks. We're Wednesdays from 8:30. It's supposed to be 8:30 to 9:30, but Brett and I usually go to 8:30 to 10. We have another host, Coach Donna, who leaves about 9:35. She might make it to 9:45, but she's done at 9:45. Our focus is getting track and field from youth all the way to professional level. We've had many great guests. We have special shows we do every year in reference to scholarship recruiting. We bring a wonderful guest on. We have some great guests coming up. A couple other things we do is live commentary. Coach Shields and I do live commentary. The last 2 years, we've done live commentary for the NCAAs, and we're hoping, based on scheduling and if everything is possible, to do live commentary for the outdoor track and field. So hope everybody will join us and watch us as we do that. Last year, we had a great participation while we were following the Olympics. We literally had, what is it, Brett? 20, 25 different all coaches just in a streaming, talking, chatting about the Olympics, going back and forth
all hours of the day. Literally all hours of the day.
All hours of the day and night. 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, conversations about track and field. So that's our focus. That's our show.
One thing I will say about that show is if you want to learn something about track and field, you need to watch that show. Definitely stay up Wednesday nights. You can catch it. Definitely watch that show. There's a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge that takes place. And we were just having this conversation prior to one of the issues. I was watching swimming. Well, better yet, I was trying to watch swimming to watch, some of the athletes who are competing in Budapest, which is where Worlds for Track and Field will be next year. Mm-hmm. And there's a guy on Twitter who is just like the swimming junkie when it comes to coverage. And he was having problems watching swimming because just like with track and field, now this is a reputable reporter / swimmer who gets the scoop on everything, who's at the meet, who you can depend on him. He is like I mean, whoever your favorite journalist is, that's him. What's the NBA guy? Adam Schefter is NFL, but
yeah.
Woj, whatever his name is.
Woj,
Woj, yeah. Yeah, that's him. He's having problems watching the World Championships of swimming.
Yes.
Wow.
Let's fast forward to what we're dealing with today. You pretty much better have some money, or you better have exclusive channels if you want to watch track and field. Gentlemen, anytime I see a commercial talking about we're trying to grow the sport, we're trying to grow the sport, it's just like, are we really trying to grow the sport? Are we really trying to make it where everybody has access? Because, we talk about having access to participate. Well, I want to watch. This is Allyson Felix's last, go round. And I'm pulling for her. I know we're all pulling for her to, I don't know if she'll make the team, but from what I've heard, she really wants to be a part of that relay pool. But you want to see her just in case, it's the last time. You mentioned Sid. You want to see Sid because Sid is in the kind of shape where she can probably run 51.46 in the semifinal round and run sub 51 for all we know in the final. You want to, it's just a matter of time. You want to see Devin Allen. You want to see him. I always said this about him. He got that money, and now he's flying like a bird, like he is with the Eagles. Yeah. Him, Grant Holloway, Trey Cunningham, and we'll, get into the specifics later. Yeah. How can we solve this issue? Because it is a major issue. Like Coach Shields, I couldn't see Alex run because I had to pay for it. Just to see. How do we? This is systemic at this point.
It is. I think that, the unfortunate thing is that, they've gotten away from, just purely promoting a sport to figuring out, their first thought is, all right, how do we make money at this?
Yeah.
Instead of going, all right, how do we promote this sport? And, it's almost, the old adage of, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Right. And you have to put it out there for people to be able to access it. If they, and there are millions of people who are not able to access these things that are sitting behind a paywall. It's unfortunate for those of us who are, junkies at it, we're like, we hate it, but ultimately, we give in because we give into our better nature. And, I just got to see this. And so we give in, and we buy the stream, whether it's temporary or a month or a year subscription, and go, well, man, I'm only going to use this thing for a week and a half, and then I got 11 dead months.
Mike.
Yeah. Man. So, from that standpoint, it's just, I think it's just awful. Clearly track and field does not have enough of a natural voice. You turn on the other, you turn on during the NBA season. I mean, you got TNT, ESPN, and you see these things easily anywhere. NBA TV, things that are already a part of a package that you might get, in your cable subscription. So you're not going and having to pay additional money, unless you want something very specific. And that's for where you have 30 teams or something like that in the NBA. All right. Track and field is, you got one event.
Yeah.
One event. A lot of people, but one event. So, to put it behind a paywall and to, like you said, Allyson Felix, now do I believe Allyson Felix will be in that relay pool? Absolutely. Yeah. But you never know. And that's the beauty of track and field, is you never know what's going to happen at any given time, any given race. Like, you know, who thought Micaiah Williams would completely choke and end up 7th place or something like that?
Oh, boy.
So,
okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
No, but I mean, but here's the thing. To your point.
But that's, you know, that's what that's the must-see TV, right? And, you know, that we don't want to miss. You know, that gives, you know, knuckleheads like me, you know, ability to say that
but to your point, for as much as we hype the sport up, and as much as Micaiah Williams had all of the hype, nobody thought, you know, Fambolay was going to win. You know, I think I said, you know, I think I give Matthew Bowling a shot. But, you know, you hype it up, well, somebody has to watch it. You know what I'm saying? This is not, hate to say it, this is not boxing. This is not.
I think the problem with track and field is there's no buildup. We're not creating stars similar to the other sports. Like if you turn on ESPN, they'll have the McDonald's High School All-American game. Mm-hmm. They'll have big time high school, you know, #1 team in the nation versus and talk about the kids who are on it. They talk about they talk about recruiting. They have National Signing Day is on ESPN. There's this buildup for football. There's this buildup for basketball. There's no buildup for track and field. So you don't get to learn who the quote unquote stars are until after someone says that person's a star, or they're just so dominant that you may know that name later. As we talk about, we say Sid or Sydney, you know, the average person who's just a sports fan or casuals fan, well, Sydney who's Sydney, you know, for the most part, because I would think by now you would know that Sydney is Sydney McLaughlin, but I mean, a lot of people may not know because there wasn't as much of the buildup, which is really sad because you take a person like Sydney McLaughlin, she was a 16-year-old who made the Olympic team in 2016. She was 16 years old. That was easily somebody you want to follow. Let's build her. Let's get her following, see what and how she goes. Plus, she made the decision to go back to high school. So she didn't even turn pro. So here's like, okay, well, let's follow her at the Penn Relay. Let's follow her at New Balance. Let's see what she does as she goes into Kentucky and competes in Kentucky. Now, once she got to Kentucky, you could see her on ESPN, and actually even NBC had her because she ran in one of those distance medley relays or one of the relays to set the world record. And she was put on there because she was Sydney McLaughlin, the high schooler, you know, trying to build a rep. But even in that case, it was on NBC Gold or NBC Olympic, another one. It's a separate package outside of your normal package. It wasn't even on the regular NBC. Right. So I think that's part of the problem. We don't have that buildup that shows you who the stars are. And then when they get to college, because most of them is about college, you know, they do each of the individual conferences, but again, most of them are behind paywalls. You know, you're not going to see the Pac-12 or the Big 12 for the most part. You might see the SEC, and even the SEC, they said, nope, this year they even shifted it. So it wasn't even on ESPN. They moved it to what, ESPN 3 or something like that, which was, again, it's behind a paywall. You got to pay for it. So I know there's cost associated because it's not a revenue generating sport like football and basketball. But if you want it to happen, you got to give people access. And they don't seem to want to give us access. That's why we're not building as well as we could, while the rest of the world loves it. And they're watching it all the time.
You even look at the track meets, man. And there have been track meets here that I've been impressed with, you know, with how they've done it for the most part. Everything is centered towards Eugene. I mean, just call a spade. And I've talked to multiple athletes on the show, and we all agreed it is horrid trying to get into Eugene.
Yes. It's a horrible place to try and have like the world's best meat.
Yes.
Now from a geographic standpoint, from a facility standpoint,
next to none.
You can't beat it.
Right.
But take that facility and move it south and slightly east. Oh, heck, forget south, slightly east. Just move it south. Just put it in California, anywhere. And that thing it's going to be amazing.
Well, they're going to have to put it in California.
Track and field. When you talk about track and field, like 2017 was in London. London, England, a big city, big airports. You can get in, you can get around. Tokyo, for the Olympics. You've got even Belgrade is a larger city that you can get in and out of, and Budapest that you can get in and out of. Eugene is really difficult to get in and out of.
Yeah,
it's even from a hotels and cars and traffic. It's not something. It's not a hub. So you got to take a flight to somewhere else to get to Eugene. So you're causing this bottleneck just trying to get there, logistically wise. If it were in Sacramento at Mount Sac or LA, totally different ball game. If it's in Austin, totally different ball game. Houston, New Orleans,
Houston, Dallas,
Orlando, Miami,
Atlanta.
Totally different ball game as far as logistics concerned. So nothing about the facility. You're absolutely right, but just getting there. And then you got one more thing about Eugene that we can't dismiss: weather.
The weather.
You have no idea what you're going to get. I mean, last year at the trials, one day it was 100 and some odd degrees. They really had to move all the events and stuff because it's super hot. Then 2 weeks ago, 55 degrees and raining, in June, and they're trying to run meets. Weather is 62 degrees. Great for distance runners. For sprinters, short hurdler, they don't want that.
No good.
They're too worried.
Sprinters except Michael Norman, who
except for Michael Norman, who seems to do better in that, and maybe that. But he trains in Southern Cal. Go figure.
I will say the one thing before we get started that annoyed me a little bit was, did you notice they kept saying next year in Austin at NCAAs it's going to be 120? I'm like, we don't know that. It didn't hit 90 degrees today in Orlando. That's fair.
They talk because they were setting you up to say it's better here.
It's better here, right?
That was all. It's going to be better here. It's better here in Eugene than it will be in Austin because it's going to be so hot. It's going to be so hot, and athletes aren't going to be like, no.
Yeah. It's going to be like, so hot. But you know what? You're going to see blazing fast times. That's what you're going to see. And they're going to do the same thing they did with the trials last year, which is they're going to move them to the cooler parts of the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Simple as that. So they knew, like, for instance, they got to make accommodations. Like last year, NCAAs, in the multi-events, on the second day, they had them starting in the morning.
Yep.
In Oregon. It literally was 50 degrees and rainy.
Yep.
And cold. And you start off with a short sprint event.
Exactly.
110 hurdles. Yep. So they knew that this year, there is no way in the world they could do that again. So what did they do? They moved it a few hours later. They had them start a few hours later this year because they knew that the weather was going to play havoc. And what happened? It was raining 3 out of the 4 days, or I'll say at least 2.5 out of the 4 days. So, and that has not changed since I went to nationals there.
The dawn of time.
In the early 90s.
It's been since the dawn of time.
Since the dawn of time.
Yeah,
that's
the facility. I don't know if there's a better facility in the world.
Nah, probably.
Oh, it's not
what they have there.
That is just dedicated to track and field.
It is dedicated to track and field, but
it's beautiful, man. It's incredible.
Geographically, logistically, climate-wise,
that facility is better than a majority of high-end football facilities.
They left no stone unturned. They looked out for everybody.
Yeah.
They made sure they talked to every discipline about how they built that facility. It wasn't just about sprinters. It wasn't just about distance. They made sure they looked out for the pole vault. They made sure they looked out for hurdlers. They made sure they had other areas for the people to train and practice. Like there's a pole vault area below the stadium for them to practice.
Pole vault,
so they
discus,
made sure everybody.
That's crazy. Yeah,
all of it. When I was honored enough to get a chance to go check it out last year, and I was like, man, like honest to God's truth, if I were any good, Florida and Oregon, just for the facilities, because you're going to be taken care of. Florida, Holloway. I mean, you have to, always consider. Yeah, pretty much, and they have great facilities at Florida as well, but I was like, this is some new age nonsense. Who comes up with this, man? But
it's the house that Nike built.
Right? Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, but Flo's gonna have it right at Texas.
Oh, for sure.
Flo's gonna have it right at Texas. No doubt. At the times they put up the Texas relays, everybody's excited that it's in Austin next year.
Well, and speaking, and we said this on the show, I think last week or the week before, that Texas relays next in 23.
Oh boy,
is going to be packed. So I mean, that is going to be, everybody's going to want to be there because you want to get on that track.
If your college doesn't go, you need to start like, hey,
transfer portal. If your college is not there, you need to enter into the transfer.
Yeah, you got.
You're thinking, hey, you're setting me up for failure if I'm not.
You got beg your coach. Listen, coach, I know you don't want to send the whole team, but can I go?
Send me. It's like that's points. That's money for you down there.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Yeah, you got to be there,
man. I would say this: the silver lining. It's supposed to be pretty good weather. It's like 90 degrees Sunday, and then so I'm hoping we see some fast times. The only time I'm always cautious about, and I just wish they would change kind of the format and just make USA's longer, because I've never been a fan of running the 200 twice on the same day. From a time standpoint, I don't feel like you get the best times, but it should be fun. So let's dive into the action, man. It's been a weird season. So far, reports came out. This will be released Wednesday, but on Tuesday that, guys like Donovan Brazier, he's hurt. He's been, has a foot injury, so he was going to try to, do the 800. Sha'Carri Richardson is going to try to double in the 1 and the 2. The men's 4, and I'm gonna get to that pick because it's not a guarantee like some people are saying. Her making that 200 team.
Oh no!
At least.
Well,
you should. Be, you'd be surprised at some stuff I've seen, but men's. But
those are ill-informed people.
Yeah, no.
That's why. Listen, that's what I say. I got to have people who know what they're talking about on here. Men's 400. Obviously, we're looking at Michael Norman, but we want to know who else is going to step up. How much rust does the newfound Tennessee Volunteer Randolph Ross have? And then the men's 200. Gosh, I think that's more exciting to me than the 100. And then obviously we talk about Sid. We talk about, man, there's just so many great races. And so we're going to concentrate on the sprints and the hurdles. And so what are you guys looking forward to the most? Like, what are you most looking forward to phrase it better, in the next couple of days?
Brett, you want to go first?
Well, man, I'm always interested.
I mean, we know what you're going to say.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
I'll clean it up after you go with your normal, but go ahead.
Oh, boy.
Well, I mean, I'm always there. I'm always all about the hurdles, man. So 110 hurdles is going to be really interesting. And if for no other reason, because, a couple of dynamics. Number one, first and foremost, the reigning world champion, Grant Holloway. I expect, and I think he's in the field, but I expect that Grant Holloway, if he's got to run 3 rounds, he'll do 2 rounds. If he's got to run 2 rounds, he'll do 1 round. He won't run the final. Because I think, number one, he doesn't want to give away just how much he got in the bag, right? And if he's, whatever he's cleaned up from, the loss to Devin Allen, in which case, I mean, come on, Allen ran 12.8. So, that was a shock to the system. I get it. So, right. But, it was probably a good shock to this. It's like, oh, shoot. Okay, we got a little work to do. Cool. Go back, retool, fix some things, look at the video, look at the tape and everything. And, and it gives him an opportunity to get a couple more races under his belt because he hasn't raced much this season. And still ran 13.08?
Yep.
Yeah.
13.08. I mean,
which is really good.
That's really, yeah. I mean, that makes him, puts him at what, number 3 in the world still? Yeah. I think 3, 4 at worst, but I think 3. But so there's that dynamic. Devin Allen, clearly, he's going to come through, I think, do what he's been doing. Man, he's been running good. And the question I have is, has he already got the best out of himself?
I don't think so.
He said no, because that 1284 was him coming off COVID.
I don't think so.
I get it.
Being off.
But you look at how many races he's run and then look at what he's done since. And he's going 13.0, I think, and 13.1.
Now, I will say the 13.1, there was some bad, from what I understand, there were some interesting weather conditions.
It was a -1 meters wind. So
which is nothing.
That's nothing. Yeah, that's still a 13.0 race, right? And it wasn't as if he just completely ran away from the field. So, so again, not to say that he is peaked out or anything, but that is a question in my mind. When you run that fast at this point in time, like, okay, you got to wonder, there's only one place you can go, and that's you looking at world record. So, and it's not like he came right back and ran 12.90. He came back with 13.0 and 13.1. So now the other
I'll stay with your 110 hurdles for a moment, but I got to look at it this way. What's the rest of the field?
Well, the rest of the field is Trey Cunningham. The guy I think you got to watch out for.
Right. So Grant's already there. So the question is, what's the rest of the field?
Rest of the field is
Roberts.
Roberts.
I have no faith in Roberts.
Listen, and I'm like this with Roberts.
Yeah. I just
which Roberts is going to show up.
Yeah.
Right. So because he is still a top 8 to 10 high hurdler in the world, but he's not a top 3 in the U.S.
Ever since Doha, it seems to be a mental thing with him. Since Doha, he just can't seem to put it back together.
Yeah. So hold on. I don't mean to cut you off, Coach, because I'm trying to do the math. 8 to 10. So right now, Devin Allen, based on time, Devin Allen. So Devin Allen, Grant Holloway, Trey Cunningham,
Hansel Parchment.
Hansel Parchment has
from France.
The 2 dudes from France. So we've got 6 and 7.
Yep.
Has Omar
Ortega
and also Levy.
Levy.
Yep. Levy.
Has McLeod run?
McLeod. He has. I think
he's not back in top form, but he
stepped out of a race.
If he's ready.
Because there was a funeral. Yeah, he had a funeral.
Yeah, he stepped out of he stepped out of a race recently. But still, I mean, Omar McLeod is still good for 13.0.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So when you talk about
provided he doesn't blow up.
Yeah, so like what Brett says, 8 to 10. Yeah, I mean,
8 to 10.
He could. I don't think Trey Cunningham, if he's mentally ready, I don't know if Roberts can beat Trey Cunningham.
No, he can't.
I just don't think he can beat him. Roberts, it's not that it's hurdling. It's just his mindset. He just has not been the same since Doha. He just has, he's hitting hurdle. He just doesn't seem to be in the races since Doha.
Well, here's the other thing. I think Roberts also, he might be one of those guys that's suffering from his own success. He got it. He got there, and hey, by all accounts, he ran super fast in that, when Grant got the record, he didn't.
Yep.
By what, 200ths of a second.
Yep.
Okay. So that means he got the bag same as Grant did.
Yep.
Yeah. But Grant kept working. I don't think he did.
Because when you think about it, in 19, Grant won at NCAAs, but Roberts won at the trials.
Right.
Roberts won the trial. Roberts was the number one guy. Grant had to dive across the line, remember?
Right.
Grant had to dive across the line to make the team.
Yep.
Then he gets to Doha and he wins it and he's taken off. Roberts has gone the other way. So that's why I'm like, I'm not sure about him. Cunningham's gotten better.
Well, again, that's why I say I think he, you see, we see those all the time, and you see it in all sports. Those guys, they get that new contract, or they get a contract, and now they got this newfound, lifestyle, I'll say.
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, I'm gonna get to practice. Yeah, I'm gonna work hard today, sort of, and man, all of a sudden you see these struggles. You're like, man, what happened to them? These struggles and everything. Or in some cases, they just disappear.
Yep.
Right.
Made an interesting point about Devin Allen. What I'm curious about, and I was curious when I read it, he runs 1284 and then goes to Europe and runs 2 races, in the span of 3 days?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And has a week to try to come back to recover, just from a recovery standpoint, because he's also doing OTAs.
Well, no, he stopped.
He stopped.
Yeah, he's done with OTAs. He part of his running in Europe was contractually he had to run, but also running himself back into shape because he had been doing OTAs and he missed 2 weeks for COVID. So he's trying to run himself back into shape.
I think he did that with 1284.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes that adrenaline gets you going. And
that's fair.
He had to weather. And he ran as clean a race as you will ever see.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many times he ran as clean a race as you will ever see. I don't think he'll ever run a race that clean again. He might even break the world record and not run a race as clean as that one was.
Yeah, pushed.
That it was as clean a race you've ever seen. He's ever run.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal race.
So I just think what you said, because Grant has the wild card because he's already world champion. I agree with you. He may run a couple rounds. I don't think he'll run the final unless he feels he just needs to run one for staying in shape. But I agree with you. I just think it's Allen, it's Cunningham, and then the field. And if weather's right and no wind, who knows? Eric Edwards might have it. He might have that last spot, depending, if there's no wind.
Well, I would say if there's no wind, hey, listen, and my own boy, I have, a couple of my boys, boys from back from college, and who were in the East Regional. They said, man, that dude ain't even 5'9".
Yeah.
Listen, if he's more than 5'9", 130, somebody's putting some rocks in his pocket.
Yeah, that's the thing. If there's no rain and there's no wind, if he's right, we'll see. I see, but that's why I say for the 110s, because Grant it's Grant. Grant's already on the team. He got to do his fitness. He has to show fitness. But you got Grant, it's Allen, Cunningham, and then the field. It's just a field from there. My race, since Brett started with his hurdles, of course. The race I'm looking to watch is the women's 200.
Man, just out here taking my race and all that stuff.
Because that race, it's wide open, but it's not wide open.
Not wide open, right?
Yeah, it's wide open because of the people in the race, but it's not wide open because I don't think anybody can beat Gabby Thomas. I truly don't think anybody can beat her.
We're gonna get to our predictions. We're gonna get to our predictions in a few minutes because we're gonna go through all of them, not all of them, but pretty much 400 hurdles down. That women's 200, man. Brittany Brown, nobody is talking about her. Abby Steiner has had a great season and is a threat. I do believe she's a threat. I'm interested to see, and I said this a couple weeks ago, the biggest change that I'm interested in terms of these college kids, specifically those who have never competed in USAs or Olympic trials, you got to run 3 rounds. You're running 3 rounds. It's not 2 rounds, and each round has to have a specific strategy, or you're not going to the second round. You're not advancing to the finals. I think and Coach, I saw you shake your head a little bit. I think, I'm not saying she's going to win gold. I'm not saying that. But I think she could get second place. I think she could take that. Because here's the thing. I love Jenna Prandini. But let's just say I'll give her this. When it comes to the championship, like the big stage, the Olympics, World is not there, but she'll show up for USAs without a doubt. But I think Brittany Brown is somebody that can get that 3rd spot, possibly second if it's a bad day.
Here's my take. Here's my take on the women's 200. First of all, I agree with Coach Lewis. Nobody's beating Gabby Thomas. That's number 1. Number 2, after that, I think it's whoever is on. Like, right? Yeah. Like at the NCAAs, you could see in the preliminary round, Abby Steiner was on.
Yeah. She
right?
was.
Oh, yeah.
She ran like 22:02 or something like that.
Yep.
Easy.
Yes.
We were like, oh, shoot. And, so she was absolutely just on. And, Brittany Brown's been running good. Jenna Prandini's been running good. Gosh, who else is behind there?
Don't forget Anavia Battle.
Anavia Battle.
She didn't do as well at NCAAs.
Right.
But she battle tested. She actually went to the Olympics.
She went to the Olympics.
She won 3 rounds.
Correct. But so Anavia Battle from an experience standpoint.
Yep.
She had, races have been, not that great, but hey, but I think it's gonna be who is gonna really be on, who's gonna be on top of their game, and fit. Is Abby, is Abby still up here, or has she started, or she leveled off a bit? And shoot, even if she's leveled off at 2180, she makes the team.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it would.
I'm sorry, there are not 3 women that's running 2180. No, just not happening. And hey, God bless her for doing it. It'd be good for some fitness, but Sha'Carri Richardson don't have a shot in making that.
I don't think Sha'Carri has a chance in the 200 either.
Does she make the finals?
She has the fitness. Can she make the finals?
She could make the finals.
Yeah, she can make the finals, but I just don't. I can't see her being in that top 3 in that 200. I just no. Now I don't think she has that fitness yet.
My race, and I've been going back and forth on this one. That women's 100, man. You know who throws a wrench in it? Aaliyah Hobbs.
Yeah.
Because
in the women's 100? Oh,
yes.
Aaliyah Hobbs is right up there.
Okay, but we say this a lot. And I'm telling you, I've picked her many times. I'm telling you, I've picked her many times, and something has gone
wrong.
Terribly wrong.
Yeah.
And so 1083, listen, we saw what she can do at LSU. That was legit.
Mm-hmm.
She throws a wrench at things. So fine, let's just say Aaliyah Hobbs is on. You can bet Sha'Carri's going to make the team because she's rounding in the form. Who in the world, and I'm not going to give my prediction right now, but you have a decent amount of people. Can you guys hear me? I think I'm breaking up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Tiana Daniels,
Mm-hmm.
Sturgis,
Mm-hmm.
oh gosh,
Damian
Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That third spot is sincerely up for grabs. You got Terry, ran for Miami Northwestern. TT Terry.
Yeah.
She's
And
run
you have
1094 this year.
Well, and you got a youngin, Tamari Davis. 1091. So now she's a youngin. So, but if she performs just on where she is right now, what she's done, her season was kind of all right, slow start, and then you started to see the times go.
Yeah.
1091.
You know what? Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. But
Tamari Davis is an interesting one because everything I've seen for her training group, they're right. They're ready.
Which is why I say this.
Group, everything I've seen in her training group so far, they're really close. So
I didn't want to be as overt, but yes, that's exactly it.
If her mindset is there, she
at a minimum, I say relay pool.
Yes,
for her.
I'm gonna say this, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna say it. I think when it comes to the relay, I think the USA has a very good shot of upsetting Jamaica this year.
No.
I'm gonna say it. Listen, I do. You can say no all you want to. I think they can. Because here's the thing.
No.
You got 3 from Jamaica that, obviously Elaine Thompson.
They got 4.
Okay, Sharika Jackson. Elaine Thompson, Shillian Fraser Price. I'm saying the 2 I'm scared of are the latter.
Yes. But that difference is so much that literally, if they get to stick around, no one's beating them.
No, I'm telling you, I think it's possible. Because let me tell you something. What if you got 2 women from the USA that's dipping into the 10-7s, possibly 2 that's dipping in the 10-8s? It's absolutely possible.
But Elaine can go 10-5. and Sherry and Shelly has gone 10-6 and getting there. So you got 2 who are going 10-5. You got a 10-5 and 10-6. You got Sharika who's at 10-8, could be 10-7, and Brianna's at 10-8, 10-9. They're not getting them. If they get that stick around, forget it. It's a wrap.
If Elaine goes,
they're not getting them.
If Elaine goes,
I love my home country, but I got to be real. They ain't getting them.
So here's the thing: the best chance they have is the best chance the U.S. has, and I agree. And I'm gonna have to play the what if scenario because put on paper it don't add up. Right? It just don't add up because Jamaica has 2 good legs and 2 out of this world.
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing.
And that anchor whichever one anchors.
Whichever one
of those 2 anchor. As a matter of fact, did Sharika Jackson anchor?
Sharika anchored.
She anchored. So
Sharika anchored.
On backstretch, Elaine Thompson The best chance is that somebody just runs a curve out of their mind, one of those two curves, because I don't see anybody who's competing.
But that curve is against Shelly. That's the problem. That curve is against Shelly.
I get it.
I just, you're throwing a 10-5 and a 10-6 at 2 and 3.
Yeah.
All Brianna has to do is get the stick at 10-8, get the stick to Elaine,
all right,
and
so
then you have a clean. Who's going to run with Elaine?
All right, so let's theorize here. So let's say that coming into the fourth leg, Jamaica has a slight lead, because they will. Now, what U.S. female could be on anchor to make up that difference, to pull out the win?
Sha'Carri.
If she's right, Sha'Carri would be the only one.
I would say
she's the only one. No one else can do it. There's no one else who can do it.
Well, I think there's one other.
Leah? I was just about to say Gabby, because Gabby has that 200-meter sprint.
No, listen. To me, Gabby on the run. I'll take that against Sharika. Not against Elaine or Shelly, but against Sharika, I think in a slight gap. I think
she'll run her down, and she can use her frame. And Sharika has 400 meters.
It's gonna be a.
You know what?
Listen.
Okay. Let me give you this. Okay. Sharika anchors and Gabby anchors. Who's running third for US?
Well, that's tough.
Because that's the person who has to take on Shelly.
Okay, so hypothetically speaking, I'm
thinking, listen. If USA has the lead after the first leg, right? Say Tiana Daniels beats Brianna Williams in the first leg, all right? Who's the second leg that's going to hold it against Elaine?
Aaliyah.
You think Aaliyah can hold it against Elaine?
It depends.
It depends.
Could. So you're not. Here's the thing.
Oh, you are turning on me, Brett. You're turning on me.
I said you could. He said hold it.
We didn't say bust it. Hold it, not bust it.
That's hold it, not close a gap or lengthen. Hold it.
Okay.
And now I'll say this: in holding it, that means holding it close, not giving up too much ground. Because some ground is going to be.
I'm going through your scenario.
Some ground is going to be
given. Stick to Aaliyah Hobbs on the second leg, ahead of Brianna Williams. All right. So Aaliyah has to hold it against Elaine Thompson. Okay. So she's got to hold it. That third leg, again, because I believe even if she has a lead, Elaine is going to close.
Here's the thing. Okay, go ahead.
So the third leg now has to take on Shelly in a turn.
Okay.
The shortest distance with one of the best turn runners. Remember, Shelly's won the 200 in the Olympics as well. It's not like Shelly is she's run 10. I mean, Shelly can run with them both. So you're saying that third leg, this is what I'm talking about. That third leg has the lead against Shelly to give it to give Gabby a chance to beat
against
Sharika.
All I'm asking, and I'm gonna give you a scenario. It's on the men's side, but check this out. 2012 London Olympics. I just needed Tyson Gay, who got the baton in the lead, not to get mollywopped against Johan Blake. Now, Johan Blake,
yes.
But here's the thing. But listen, no. What was the positioning when Ryan Bailey got the baton and Usain Bolt got the baton?
It's a wrap. It's over.
No. That's not what I asked. That's not what I asked.
Ryan Bailey got it ahead.
He doesn't have a big. It's not enough.
Listen,
Ryan Bailey got the stick ahead.
Ryan Bailey got the stick ahead.
Yes.
And to what Brett and I are saying, if Gabby Thomas and Sharika Jackson get the baton, and it's just if it's what they say, if she's even, she's leaving. If it's one of those things, I'm telling you, USA could pull off the upset.
I need to hear your third leg.
But here's what.
I need to hear your third leg.
A first leg, though.
Huh?
First leg, very important. First leg.
It's right? The first leg.
And I had to look at the list. I had to get into the list here and see
who's your first leg.
Melissa Jefferson.
Oh.
What about I'll do you one better.
With the rookie? Oh.
Listen, hold up. Listen. Hold on now. She's a starter.
Okay.
She's a starter, and she's great at 60 meters. So now, so now, putting her against Brianna Williams, who has shown to be up and down, at times.
Again, I will give you the first leg will have the lead. I can give you the first leg has a lead.
So that means
Can Aaliyah Hobbs hold off Elaine Thompson on that second leg?
It may not be Hobbs.
Close.
It could be Sha'Carri.
I don't think it would be Sha'Carri. You don't want to give her that much to think about.
Oh man.
Taking the stick.
So
I'm serious.
Let me ask you this.
Taking the stick, giving the stick. No. You don't want to hear it. Get the stick and just run.
Yeah, Sha'Carri has to anchor. That's what I think. Sha'Carri has to anchor. They can't have her in the middle. I just, if you're gonna put somebody in the middle, it's either Aaliyah Hobbs or Gabby.
I would prefer Gabby.
Here's my wild card for that third leg, though.
I know what you're gonna say.
Abby's my wild card for that third leg.
Yeah, because Abby can run. Abby, yeah.
I looked at her in the list, and then I kind of looked past because I said, but
Abby.
Boy, I tell you, because I think to that 200 meters, it was over in the turn.
That's my wild card. Abby on the third leg.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about this one.
I will if it's Melissa Jefferson.
Think about this: Jefferson, Hobbs. Let's, for argument's sake, Steiner, Richardson,
and Sha'Carri.
They can win.
I'm give them a better chance than the other group.
So Tiana Daniels, she's
I give them a better chance than Daniels, Oliver.
What about Sturgis?
No, no, I can't see.
You just don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I can't see it. I think that pool is Steiner, Thomas, Hobbs, Sha'Carri, Oliver, and Daniels. I think that's the pool.
Especially, I'll add this: if Abby does not medal or get to the finals or something like that, and she could run with some energy, I'm telling you. Listen,
here's the thing: Abby doesn't need energy. Abby just needs to get the stick, because we saw her at the NCAAs. She ran 2180, and she just needed a little. And she just like, okay, give me the stick, I'm gone. When she ran that 48, like it was nothing. So that's why I say, if you put Abby Steiner on that third leg, I might, yeah.
I'll tell you what'll be interesting now that we say Abby. What does the 4x4 look like?
Oh,
well, I think she's
got to
make the team straight up first.
Okay,
right?
that's fair.
She's not on that.
But I think she's only doing the 200 also.
They'll put her in the 4x4.
I think that could be. Who you taking off?
You got Sid, Delilah.
A thing?
No.
You're not taking the thing off.
That's what I'm saying. Who you taking off? Who you taking off?
I hate to say it. All right. America,
probably.
Don't kill me. Taking Allyson off the final.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't run in the finals a couple years ago.
Let her run the prelim. Let her run the prelim. But listen, for all Allyson, she is the baddest thing that has come through women's track and field in the past 20 years. but she ain't running that 48-7 right now.
I think they let Allyson anchor.
They may very well, but I'm just saying from
I bet Sid leaves off. Yeah. I bet Sid leaves off.
Which is a mistake.
Would you let a thing lead off? Who are you going to lead off?
Anybody. Sid and a thing. I would Delilah.
I would put Delilah.
I think I want Delilah running. I don't know if I want Delilah.
Here's why I say Delilah, because she's going out no matter what.
So you go with Delilah?
Yeah. Delilah, yeah. She's flying out there no matter what. That's how she runs it. She runs a thing
she has to be the anchor.
I think my thinking is if it's the same four, I think Sid leads off to Delilah, to a thing, to just put it out of reach, and then Allyson brings him home. Only because it's Allyson's last one.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only way I see it, because it's Allyson's last one. That's the only way I see it. I agree with you. She's probably better suited running in the first round, running one of the rounds, and then getting one. Yeah. But I just think there'll be too much pressure by NBC, by sponsors, and USA Track and Field that y'all need to make sure Allyson's on that final team and Allyson is the anchor. Unless she just totally stinks at the trials. If she's just, right. If she's like 50.1 or something she's 51 and she's 8th or 9th. They're like, okay, you run on the co-ed, the co-ed
the mixed relays, yeah.
Yeah, but you're not running the 4x4.
Well, actually, I don't even think they would hide her on the mix. They put her in the prelims of the 4x4 and let the other 3 do the work.
Yeah. You would think they'd do that just in the prelims.
Yeah, just in the prelims. Just so she gets that other gold medal.
Yeah, I just think NBC, and I think this is what a TV network will be putting pressure on USATF to say, you got to put her on there. We need it for ratings. You got to put her as anchor.
Hey, I tell you what, though, USA Track and Field better be careful in doing that, because if she's not looking great, they better be careful, because that Polish team is good.
No, I'm saying she has to perform at the trials. Yeah. She's got to be in the top 6.
So they better not sacrifice. They better not
sacrifice
a potential, sacrifice a gold medal just to, crown the queen. She's already been crowned. This is just her victory lap. Just like Michael Johnson.
I know that Polish team is, but the thing moves getting that stick third leg. I mean, is who on the Polish team is going to run a 48 to keep with a thing? Ain't
nobody.
No. I think that's my only thing. If it were me though, Allyson wouldn't be on the team. I wouldn't have her. I wouldn't have her on that 4th leg. I would pull her off.
Well,
no. So you're speaking from what would USA Track and Field do? Yeah.
Yeah. If I were USA Track and Field, Allyson isn't on that final 4. It's a matter of Sydney, a thing, Delilah, and Abby, or whoever else shows up. Whoever else is a monster in that 400.
It could be
Talitha Diggs, yeah.
Yeah, Talitha, exactly. Yeah, it could be Talitha Diggs. I mean, that which is another, homegrown family, the Clark family going. Yeah, so I mean, you got the story, but yeah, I think their best bet was not Allyson would be in the prelims, but I just think NBC, if it looks like there ain't no way nobody's beating this team, Allyson's anchoring. I just can't see them having her lead off.